everyone. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates, coming to you live from the crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you for joining us here today. We are grateful that you're here. We want to welcome everybody that is here or who will join us on a delayed broadcast basis, or who will join us here in the chat room at any time during this broadcast. We feel it a privilege to serve you. We feel it a privilege to have you with us, and we welcome you with open arms and hearts. Thank you for joining us. We do want you here. We appreciate those of us, or those of you that had joined us for yesterday's broadcast and for last night's emergency broadcast that we had in the middle of the night. Those of you that had joined us during that emergency broadcast last night, there are 109 views already of that broadcast, and we appreciate every one of them. We wanted you to see that broadcast because we wanted you to be aware of what was going on. The southeastern United States was literally attacked by storm after storm after storm. There were about 40 tornadoes that hit in the southeastern United States overnight. One or two of them, well, probably three of them, were EF4s, EF5 tornadoes, and had massive destruction. And most of you have seen pictures of that destruction that happened overnight, both in Monroe, Louisiana, over in Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding areas around Atlanta, and also over in Tennessee last night. We have seen some very bad weather continue on up the east coast of the United States today, and even Baltimore, Maryland was under a tornado watch until just recently. They were under tornado watches and severe storm warnings throughout most of the day today, and even Washington, D.C. Had some weather issues. It has gone on and on and on, to make a long story short, and I don't think it's over. I believe before the end of this night, we'll probably be back on the air tonight with an update. Excuse me. It's just that this weather is not going to stop. We have some nasty weather still in the forecast for tonight, and probably ongoing through the rest of this week. And if we feel it necessary, we'll be bringing it live to you as the information comes to us, as we have always promised you. It is our practice to make sure, our practice and our philosophy, to make sure that you have the latest information that's available to you. So you will have whatever information you have so you can make decisions. And that's our policy. That really is the policy that we've had since we instituted our program a year ago, this past April 3rd. Now, it's hard to even start here because there's been so much going on. First off, I want to also thank those people here in Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas that have contacted me today in regards to the earthquakes here in Salt Lake City. They're aftershocks of the March 18th 5.7 earthquake here in Salt Lake City in Magna, Utah. Now, we've had numerous aftershocks today, and I will show you those. USGS does not have those. They haven't had them all day long. However, I will show you those on the EMSC map here. But I don't know why the USGS would not even show those, because they are all USGS and University of Utah that monitors the earthquakes here in Utah have a pact that they share the information. And And it is beyond me why they would not, why USGS would not share the information. I just don't know. I don't get it. I literally don't get it. But I'm going to show you that information right now, as soon as this map comes up. I've had it up off and on all day today, looking at everything that's been going on. And right now they're only showing like 9 earthquakes, and there was like 12 earthquakes here earlier. We turn down the light so I can show you these. These are the earthquakes. It says 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 earthquakes. And there are, like I said, 12 of them earlier. These earthquakes ranged in intensity from a 0.28 here, 1.90, 1.01, 1.58, 2.11, 2.41, 0.34, 1.89, and 0.46. It's obvious to me that they've taken a lot of these earthquakes down, okay? Because there was even a 2.7 that hit out here just southeast of what they call Salt Air, which is an amphitheater over by the Great Salt Lake, on the southern edge of the Great Salt Lake. It's a huge amphitheater where they have raves over here for the most part. And I'm sure they use it for other reasons as well. But just southeast of there is where this 2.7 magnitude earthquake hit. And as I showed you, there was a 2.4, a 2.11, and a bunch of ones and a bunch of 0. Whatever. My phone blew up with messages, and I've had a few phone calls as well, asking me what the heck was going on with the earthquakes here in Salt Lake City. I instantly went to check, and I saw nothing but minor earthquakes. There was nothing else. There were no small, there were no moderates, and there were no large earthquakes. And so I'm going, what the heck? And then I did some research, especially about that 2.7. Well, as it turns out, the EMSC had 12 felt reports. USGS had none, 0. They didn't even list the earthquakes. Okay, now I have my earthquakes set on the USGS as 2.5 and larger. I have occasionally come down to 1.0 and larger, and they still don't give me the earthquakes. Sometimes they have in the past, sometimes they haven't. But today they didn't have any earthquakes at all listed for Salt Lake City. And at the time there were 12 of them. One of them was a 2.7. So I went over to the EMSC and looked it up. There were like 12 felt reports. So I looked at it, and the felt reports were all over the board, from 2 people saying they didn't feel it at all to people that said they felt it in Lehigh. Lehigh is approximately, I want to say, 35 miles south of where the earthquake hit. It also, we had one felt report over in what they call South Jordan, which is about 3 miles east, or 3 miles west of where I live. Now, these people said, one person said it felt like a truck hit something near them. Another felt report said it felt like my house was shaking. Another felt report said my house was shaking, I was shaking, I was wasn't upset, I was very shaken, for lack of a better term, okay? This person obviously was shook up, pardon the pun. But I even had a cousin of mine that lives in Lehigh. I had 2 others two or three others that were shaken up in Utah County. Lehi is in Utah County, 30 miles from where the earthquake struck. And these people were very concerned. So it's obvious to me that that 2.7 was very much a larger earthquake than what was being reported. Now, while I've got the EMSC up here, I'm going to find that largest of the earthquakes here, and it's a 2.41 here. I'm going to look up the felt reports with it. Okay, I'm going to look up the felt reports because you guys deserve to know what's going on. Everybody does. I have a real issue when the felt reports don't match what the other government agencies are saying. That bothers me. That bothers me to no end. And frankly, it concerned me because I didn't feel it. Now, I live only maybe 14 miles away from it, something like that. And if I didn't feel it, then there's a problem. Because the people in Lehi, some 30 miles away, and they felt it, and I didn't. So there's an issue there. I'm trying to find it real quick here. That's not it. You probably hear my wife or my granddaughter or her mother getting mad at our granddaughter, or our granddaughter getting mad at the two of them because she is tired and needs a break. Okay, now we have 27 felt reports on this earthquake, and it's been downgraded to a 2.5. Okay, now I'm going to read you some of these felt reports. I think you'll be amazed too. This is in what they call Eagle Mountain, which again is like 40 miles from the earthquake. Noticed a rumbling sound right under this around this time. I thought it was a long, strong gust of wind. Now I'm wondering if this was a quake. I didn't feel it, I heard it. Someone else said they checked outside to see if a big truck had driven by. A quick jolt. That was in Lehi. In Draper, just south of where I live, probably about a mile or two south of me. It said, I thought it was a wind blowing against the house, but I looked out and it's not windy. Somebody north of Salt Lake in a town called Bountiful, which is in Davis County, where one of the COVID-19 patients passed away, said, did the floor just move? ? Someone in West Valley right near the epicenter said, couldn't decide if it was an earthquake or the guys outside trimming the trees. Someone in Salt Lake City, 12 miles from the epicenter, 6 miles from the epicenter, said, like something slammed into something nearby. Fast and loud, and it was over quick. Somebody else 6 miles east of the epicenter said, it woke me up, shook my bed, shaking for like 4 seconds. Someone in Salt Lake City, again, 6 miles east of the epicenter, didn't feel it. Somebody in West Valley, just south of the epicenter, said, heard the rumble and a quick shake. West Valley, I heard the rumble, there was a quick shake, just, I thought maybe my nerves. Again, somebody in West Valley says, I'm almost sure I heard a second rumble like 2 minutes later. West Valley again, a rumble, a slight shake of the house. Thought it was a wind at first, but it wasn't windy out. West Valley says a rumble and tremors, light movements. Somebody in Magna near the epicenter. House shook just now. Somebody from Magna says, shaking pretty good in my chair. A 2.5, 2.7. A 2.5, 2.7 isn't going to shake anybody, even at the epicenter. You might feel a rumble in your feet, but that's just about all. You're not sitting there shaking your chair and wondering what just happened. Somebody in Magna said the house just shook. In Salt Lake City, 3 miles from the epicenter, decent big rumble. Someone in Magna says, lasted less than 20 seconds, felt like a 2.7 mag or so, no damage, dogs barking for several minutes, before and after a few rattles for 2 or 3 minutes after. A few rattles for 2 or 3 minutes after. Somebody in West Valley, just south of the earthquake, just a quick rumbling of our building. Somebody in West Valley just felt the floor of my computer desk shudder. Thought it might have been a heavy truck. Someone near the epicenter, approximately 2.5 miles from the epicenter, was sitting on my couch when my whole house shook. A 2.5, 2.7, the whole house isn't going to shake. That's a minor earthquake, a very light rumble under your feet, okay? Someone says it shook their office, okay? So that will give you an idea. There were 24 felt reports on this particular quake, and there were others. 2.1, for example. Let's see if anybody felt a 2.1. We have 3 felt reports of the 2.1. Just got the notification. I didn't feel anything. I'm in a 2nd floor building in Murray, Utah, which is just south of where I live, or excuse me, just north of where I live, probably about 6 miles north of where I live, closer to the epicenter. Somebody in West Valley says, I think this made the last one feel really long. Someone else in West Valley said, felt this one a long time, maybe 5 minutes. And this was a 2.1, allegedly a 2.1. So you tell me, folks, and those of you that I know who called me or dropped me text messages, please don't stop. I want to know what you felt. I want to know what you are thinking. I want to know what's going on. It's important that we all know what's going on. I just had one of you guys text me. It said, just wanted to tell you that there were 2 hot spots in the panhandle of Florida. Okay. I'm looking at this picture and I don't see the hot spot. No, I don't see the hot spot. I will have to look it up. Amanda, thank you for sending us that. We really appreciate it. Now, I will look it up and see what I can find. We commonly get messages from you guys during our program, which we really appreciate it. And I usually put them on the air in most cases. There is some information, and then I will be getting back. I will be getting back to the earthquakes in just a few minutes. I was notified that Lisa Haven had put out a video, and it was very interesting and very telling of what's going on. There was an article from the New York Post talking about the COVID virus. As one of you said right here, and I'm going to quote this, I'm having a hard time believing what they said about the COVID virus. Oh, brother, they better not do what I think they're going to do. I'm curious to see your reaction and your take on the video and the article. Well, folks, I'm going to show you, just so you know, I'm going to show you the video. I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to show you the video that Lisa Haven put out today. By the way, actor Dennis Quaid praises President Trump for the travel ban and his handling of the health crisis. Many people, many actors, actresses, many celebrities from all over the world have praised President Trump on his handling of the coronavirus. I want to show you this. I'm not going to play it for you. Okay, I'm trying to key up the video so I can show you the part of the video that you need to see so you can bring it up yourself after our program and take a look at it. Now, Lisa Haven, during her video presentation, not only was able to say what she had to say, but she had the evidence to prove it. Okay, there was evidence to prove what she had to say. So I highly suggest that you take a look at it. I am a little bit taken aback because I'm just going to tell you like it is. Okay, this video is called "Surprise Coronavirus is Linked to George Soros, to Anthony Fauci, to Bill and Hillary Clinton, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates." It's linked to the professor that was arrested over at Johns Hopkins University. Okay, I'm going to show you this really quick so you can take a look at it after this video. Okay, it's called "Surprise Coronavirus Linked to George Soros, Linked to Anthony Fauci, Linked to Gates, etc." Okay, dated today. It's already got 26,495 views. Okay, it's something that you ought to take a look at. And there are many others. I will tell you there's many others. This video is troubling in the very least. In the very most, it should be taken and scrutinized and realize where it's coming from, because we have major figures throughout the world that this virus is linked to. Now, someone asked me on one of the posts on my video from yesterday, what evidence do I have to link Dr. Fauci, to link Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, that professor, and others to this virus? I think I presented quite a bit of evidence. That is irrefutable that these people are tied to this virus, that it was a weaponized virus. For the last month and a half or 2 months that have gone by, this is April, we've gone through March, we've gone through February. Throughout this time, we've found evidence and presented evidence to you of where this virus came from and what this virus was part of, or what part of the virus that makes it so deadly, i.e. linked to the HIV, okay? So that this virus will go into you, make you feel ill, make you feel like you have the flu, but in the end, because it contains part of the HIV virus, it will kill you. Plain and simple. We've also told you, and now it's being found out, that people that have recovered within a short time get it again, and then it attacks the heart, and then it will kill you. Again, linked to the HIV. Linked to the HIV. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go shut the door here so we don't hear quite as much noise. Excuse me for just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Anyway, to make a long story short, we keep seeing things. We keep hearing things. We keep finding more and more evidence that proves that the coronavirus, the COVID-19, as they want to put it, is linked to other viruses and other illnesses. So it is a dangerous virus, and it'll kill people. And I think we've proven it. I don't like making statements I can't back. But quite honestly, folks, I can back everything we said about it. I think we can back everything we said about it. And by the way, I have the chat up, so if you guys have questions, I'll be happy to take any questions you have. Lisa K says, bioengineered HIV spikes, bonds up the T cells like HIV, attacks the immune system, and leaves victim who lives with liver, lung, and heart issues. Not a good deal. You're right. A bioengineered weapon? It is. Okay? So the person that asked me about that, folks, over the past 2 months, we've proven without a shadow of a doubt that this is a bioengineered disease, a bioengineered weapon. Now, as for the theorists that say, oh, it came from the wet market across the street from the clinic, from the lab, it had nothing to do with the damn bats or any other animal. And I think it was yesterday or the day before, somebody said, oh, I think we need to shut down all the animal sales that are going on because we might get the coronavirus from an animal market, a live animal market. No, that's not going to happen either. Okay. Number one, you're not going to stop animal sales here in the United States. One, people raise animals to sell these animals as a cash crop, if you will. They sell them to other people for meat. They sell them to other people, baby animals to raise for meat and for pets, to show them at fairs and such. Yes, Teal, leave damn bats alone. Leave the poor bats alone. Oh, I'm sorry, I called them damn bats. Yeah. Yeah, it has nothing to do with bats. I'm just disgusted that people want to, or don't want to, let's put it that way, don't want to face up to reality. And the hard part, as Candy just put it, the hard part is proving the intentional release of the virus. I think we have. Okay. Number one, Bill and Melinda Gates own the patent to this virus. And George Soros has helped fund this whole thing. And that professor at Johns Hopkins was down in China getting paid by the Chinese, came back to the United States, and he was part of the release of this virus. And now he's in FBI federal custody. Okay. Now, it's interesting that Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, and Bill and Hillary Clinton have been linked to this as well. They have. I even have a picture of every one of them together. Soros, Gates, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Dr. Fauci. Fact, folks. And if you go and watch that video of Lisa Havens, she has a picture too. Thanks, Times and Signs. I love you too. And Times and Signs says that virus is a bad boy. Yeah, it is. Okay. Don Patoka, my friend, COVID-19 promoted by CCP. Yeah, it was. It was. So there's no doubt that every one of these people was linked and is linked to this virus. And then the stupid idiot Bill Gates gets out of Microsoft so someone doesn't sue Microsoft and take down the company of Microsoft. Okay? Yes, Loretta, it's absolutely true. Bill Gates leaves Microsoft, and then it comes out that Bill and Melinda Gates own the patent on the virus, and Bill and Melinda Gates are working on a vaccine for the virus, and Bill and Melinda Gates are promoting a digital identification system that can be shot into your arm, your neck, or whatever part of your body to digitally identify you. Yeah. Yeah. So Bill Gates is trying to make money all the way around. Okay. He got that professor at Johns Hopkins involved and got him involved over in China to work on this virus. And then it was released to start to kill people. And China did not feed us the real numbers. And China made it go around the world. China allowed their people to spread the virus literally around the world. And then the world started closing in on China. banning travel to and from China. Okay? And yes, TLO, you're absolutely right. The NWO BS. Bill Gates has been promoting the New World Order. So see, it's all fits into the big picture. You have to have all this information so you understand the big picture. Now, many of you, I can't say many, some of you belong to various groups that I belong to. And you understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a lot of time putting all this information together. And I know what I'm talking about. It's a deadly weapon, plain and simple. Now, I went on to YouTube today, and they have demonetized several of my videos as of late because it talks about the coronavirus. And according to them, that my videos espouse false information, my videos espouse erratic behavior, my videos espouse, what shall I say? I'm trying to remember exactly how YouTube put it, but they don't like anybody that is not espousing the language of the powers that be, meaning Bill Gates, George Soros, Google, Fauci, Al Gore. You know, I haven't even said anything about Al Gore, but I'm sure in some way, shape, or form, Al Gore has got his little fingers and hands involved in this as well. I don't have any information to support that, by the way. But what I am saying, Bill Gates has been involved with Microsoft. I'm sure he has his fingers in with Google and YouTube and telling Google and YouTube, you got to control these people. They might incite a riot. Mr. Gates, I'm telling you, there will be a riot. What you have done, Mr. Gates, George Soros, Bill and Hillary Clinton, the professor from Johns Hopkins, Mr. Fauci, and many of the others that are involved with, what you've done is you've tickled the underside belly of the soldier. You have awakened a sleeping giant. You have started World War III. You just don't know it yet. And yes, I'm looking right at you, aren't I? You better believe me. I am a force to be dealt with. You thought Dave Hodges and Mike Adams and Doug Hagman and John Moore and Steve Quayle are forces to be dealt with? Guess what now? You have someone else, me. And you have many other people just like me. They're going to be coming after you. Now, we won't invoke personal harm to you, but we were going to make your lives a living hell. And if during World War III you were captured, prosecuted, and hung over in Washington, D.C. in the mall, you're going to realize what you've done is wrong. If you spend time in Gitmo during your trial and before your trial, you're not going to have the access to everybody you thought you did. And you're going to be tried and you're going to be found guilty and you're going to be hung for your crimes. You're going to be hung for your crimes. And the sleeping giant will be awoken. Mr. Soros, you're going to go down. Mr. Soros, you thought it was just wonderful to get a horde, tens of thousands of people to come up from Guatemala and El Salvador and points south to come up to the Mexican-US border to make this president and the rest of our lives a living hell. And you pay these people, George Soros. You pay these people to riot and cause problems. Well, Mr. Soros, it didn't work. Mr. Soros, you tried Antifa, the Storm Gypsy said. You tried Antifa in Oregon and Washington and other places throughout this country. Didn't work, did it? Because these same people are going to go down with you. There's going to be a world war. And there's going to be war on the shores of the United States of America because what you people have done. What you people have done. You started it, we're going to end it. Of that, you can be sure. I, for one, am one of the sleeping giants. I am. Mr. Obama, you've had your hands in this too. Your fingers are all over this. You're one of the ones that will be arrested and tried and hung for your crimes. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, you are also among those people. Andrew McCabe, James Comey, Lisa, Donna Brazil, Eric Holder, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you all are going to go down for your crimes. That you can take to the bank, if you're going to have a bank to go to. And then the government of the United States is going to seize your assets and you're toast. Mr. Gates, you got out from underneath Microsoft so your company couldn't be destroyed. You're going to go down anyway. Now, folks, as you can tell that I'm on a roll, somewhat of a roll tonight. Not as bad as I've been on the other nights, but I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I've mentioned other YouTubers. I've mentioned other people here tonight. We have the cards. We're playing the cards. Okay? Mr. Trump, President Trump, I urge you at the earliest possible minute to go out with the FBI and the United States Marshal's Office and pick these people up as soon as possible. The sooner we get them off the streets and into Gitmo and seize their assets, the stronger our case is going to be. And the sooner we can return this country to some sort of normal, some sort of normalcy. Folks, I also have a lot of information, a ton of it, a ton of evidence to prove that the numbers that they have thrown at us over the past weeks and months are false. The number of people that have been infected just in the state of Utah is less than 1%, not the 7% that's being thrown at us. Why do I know this? Because I've looked and I've checked, I've double checked, I've studied this. The death certificates are not just coronavirus victims. They're not just coronavirus victims. There are people who died of heart attacks that had nothing to do with the coronavirus. Not just in Utah, but all over this country. People that had underlying health issues, such as heart issues, diabetes, and other health issues that have passed away. Their death certificates read, cause of death, coronavirus. True. Yes, times and signs, they're making heart attacks set up as COVID-19. And they're falsifying it. Doctors are being told, and doctors are coming forward that have been told by their superiors to show the death certificates as COVID-19. I can prove it. I can prove it. We have the doctor's statements. Okay. We have dentists. We have dentists that won't put the real reasons down. Marshall says, yep, that's what I told my family, Ron, and they think I'm nuts. Some members of my family think I'm nuts. Has that stopped me from coming forward? Okay. Folks, don't do like the commercials on TV you're told. They're telling you to do. Don't turn in your neighbors. Okay? Your neighbors have rights. You have rights as well. Don't be being big brother and calling the cops or calling your county or calling your city and complaining your neighbors are doing this, that, the other thing that are completely within their rights. Don't violate somebody else's rights. Times and Signs says anyone going into the doctor's offices lately can't even get an antibiotic for a sinus infection. I don't have to go into a doctor's office, and I told you guys a long time ago, call your doctor on the phone. Many times your doctor, just like mine, didn't want me coming into the doctor's office and take a chance on me getting any sicker than I was. He called in an antibiotic, and now I'm better. Together with the antibiotic and the things that you guys told me to do, that I've done, including vitamin C. I'm not going to say who sent this to me, but thank you very much. You know who you are. I appreciate that. And all the other wonderful things that you guys have sent and continue to send to me and my family. For that, I'm eternally grateful for. I am grateful for your love, your friendship, your companionship. I'm grateful that you're here to support us, to learn and spread the truth that is going around the world. Okay. Marshall says Nebraska gets $300,000 for every COVID patient. New York gets $13,000. Why? Because once they're put on a ventilator, they can charge that patient for that amount of money that it costs to keep that person on a ventilator. But like we said yesterday, not every patient needs to be put on the ventilator or needs to be put on the ventilator for a specific length of time. For every day that person is put on a ventilator, they're able to charge them thousands upon thousands of dollars. They're making a killing on this. Okay? Sheila says, our doctor says, call your primary doctor. Absolutely. Or dentists say that. Absolutely. Call your primary care physician. Call your primary care physician. Okay? Or you can call their helpline. Or you can have, what we do is have an app that your doctor's office has given you to be able to communicate with them. And they do return calls. I just got one today. Okay. I'm telling you to take responsibility for your lives. Okay. Take responsibility for your lives and do the things that you need to get better. Okay. Also, I'm talking about medical care. The hospitals are not being overwhelmed, except maybe in New York. Our hospitals here in Salt Lake, guess what? Doctors and nurses are being furloughed because there's not enough work for them. There's not enough patients in the hospital, not even with COVID-19. And that's the way it is around the country. Some doctors and nurses, not just being furloughed, they're given walking papers. See ya. Some are getting severance pay. There's one hospital that's giving severance pay. Okay? I'm just saying. I know it to be a fact. I've done my checking. Lisa says they've had 700 furloughed. And that's the way it is all around the country. But they would like us to believe that that's not true. Richard Lyle says, when seconds count, police are minutes away. You're right. But please, if you have to call the police, do so. But if you don't have to, don't. They have their hands full, believe me. Don't call them unless it's an absolute emergency. Plus, 12 of them in Salt Lake City have COVID-19 and are either at home recovering or are in the hospital, as are other first responders around the country. So folks, be careful. We don't know what these wonderful people do all day long and who they get exposed to. And you don't want to be exposed to someone that they've been in contact with. So please treat those people special. Let them know that you care about them, but don't call them unless you really need them. Okay? And I'm not saying that when you call the police that you don't need them. What I am saying is be careful. Okay? And they have their hands full, believe you me, they do. I told you last night, and I've told you on many other shows, that our first responders deserve the utmost love and respect that we can give them. And I truly mean that. They do. Please watch over them, pray for them, help them with whatever they need. And if they happen to stop you, you can still be courteous with them. You can tell them, thank you for stopping you. What was it that I did that gave you the idea that I need to be stopped and talked to? And then thank them, please. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. Times inside, and she says, it hurts bad and scaring her, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. All I'm trying to do is bring you the truth to help you. And I love your mom too, Times and Signs, you know that. She's a wonderful lady. So is your husband. Great, great people. Great, great people. Yes, Dorothy, yes, something is wrong with her mother. I wish we could help. And we are praying for her. She needs everybody's prayers right now. Her mom's been sick off and on for a long time. A very dear lady. And we'll keep Brandy in our prayers too, Loretta. Thank you. I hope that she doesn't have to go through any more problems having her baby with all this virus crap going around. She doesn't need it either. Smart kid, I took my my Discord down a long time ago because people started arguing with me and calling me names and telling me that I was full of crap. And I warned them, you continue this, I'll take the Discord down, and I did. Sharon Wilt, it's good to see you here. Yeah. We're glad my friend Sharon Wilt in Canada is here. Wonderful lady. God bless you, dear lady. I mean that. I mean that. I love each and every one of you. I really do. Anyway, folks, let's get talking about earthquakes. I've talked about this stuff for too long. I'm going to show you now some seismos. Monday night, we typically like to go to seismos and show you what's going on. Okay. The first one we're going to take a look at is Mount Baker. This was Mount Baker yesterday evening into last night. You see a lot of magma infill going on at this volcano, Mount Baker in Washington State. See all these curlicues here all over the place? This is steam venting. Mount Baker is going through a steam eruption right now. Mount Baker has been going through steam eruptions. My tank is saying, I'm empty. Replace me. Help me. Yeah, so I'm taking care of that too. But Mount Baker is going through a steam eruptive phase again. I don't think it's really stopped. Okay. By all accounts, Mount Baker has been going through steam eruptions for quite some time now. Quite some time. Now, Mount Baker is not the only one. And you can see it's kind of hard right in the middle here. Right in the middle here, a 2.25 near Newport. A 2.25 magnitude earthquake near Newport. Well, glory be. We're finding out about an earthquake that they didn't even tell us about. They're showing an earthquake here that they didn't even tell us about. It's not on the map. It's not even on the map. This is Mount Baker. This is Mount Baker during the day since midnight last night. Right here is midnight. This is all during the day today. Steam eruptions are going on as we speak. Okay, this was up until 5 o'clock Pacific time today. It's now 6 p.m. today. Okay, let's go through here and let's find out what's going on right now. Okay, this is what's going on right now. The steam eruption is going on right now. You can see this curly Q, and this is at probably 7:45 tonight. Or excuse me, 6:45 tonight. It's not even 7:45 my time yet. 6:45 Pacific time, and you can still see the magma infill going on. You can see it. Okay. It's just after 6 o'clock, and you still can see the magma infill going on right here at the left side of the seismogram. Okay, that's just at Mount Baker. Let's go over to the next one here. This is Mount Rainier Voigt Creek Station. This seismogram is what is going on just as we speak. Since 5 o'clock today, and right now you can see the magma infill going on. And see these spikes here? Guess what? Mount Rainier is also venting. There's steam eruptions going on at Mount Rainier. Okay, look at what's going on. This up here at the top of the seismogram. This happened yesterday at this time yesterday evening, 5 o'clock on. You can see the magma infill going on, and you can see the spikes, the curly Qs, the steam eruptions going on. Now look at this steam eruption that happened at approximately 9:15 last night. Look at this. This was a major eruption right here. Okay, this was a major steam eruption right here, a major spike. Look at the darkness that the machine recorded. And it recorded steam eruptions. And it's still recording steam eruptions. Look at the magma infill signatures all the way through, and even through this afternoon. These up here in the middle of the graph, these were at 3 o'clock in the morning. These down here at the bottom are this afternoon. Up here in the morning, steam eruptions all day long at Mount Rainier. Steam eruptions and magma infill going on all afternoon. And it's continuing to happen right now, as we see by this graph here. This is current. This is current right now. Let's go to the next one. This is Mount St. Helens, East Dome, Mount St. Helens. This is current information here. It's not hard and heavy like Mount Rainier and Mount Baker were. So let's go back to earlier today. Look what we see. It's not as hard and heavy as Mount Baker and Mount Rainier, but it's still there. You still see some magma infill going on. Okay, magma infill here. There's an earthquake near Newport that it picked up. Okay, but it's still going on. How about what's going on currently over here at Mount Hood? Well, I'll be darned. We do have a Mount Hood. Prior to me coming on the air, I checked this. And guess what PNSN did? They said there's no report. This is current. Let's take it back to earlier today and the night before last. Okay. We've had some earthquakes, some minor earthquakes at Mount Hood. We have one over here, one here, another one here. We've had infill going on You can see it. The jiggly lines. There's some infill going on at Mount Hood. Folks, let me show you. Let me show you what is going on at Mount Hood. Like I said, I'm keeping a close eye on what's going on. Gosh, I wish they wouldn't do this. Doggone them. Here we go. Yesterday at this time, we showed you like 12 earthquakes at Mount Hood. Here is a minus 0.27. Let me take you back here. Hold on a second. I want to show you this. Here is a minus 0.27 at the foothill, the southern foothills of Mount Hood in Oregon. Okay, that's at the foothill. That's at the foothill of Mount Hood. Okay, that is probably the same earthquake that we see right here. Okay, what time did this happen? I'm sorry, this happened last night. This happened at 52 minutes after midnight. So let's go over here. No, this one happened at 2:58 this morning. It was a 2.25 at 2:58 this morning. The one we're looking at was 58 minutes after midnight, which is about, just about right here where you see my cursor. There was a minor earthquake right here last night. But it's not showing on the map. EMSC is not showing this earthquake here. It's showing two others, one that happened at 6:45 this morning, and another that happened just about 7:10 this morning. That's what this seismogram says. Okay, there was a minor earthquake there and one about 6:45 this morning. Now these may have been taken off this map. These earthquakes that the seismogram show probably were taken off the map, off the earthquake map. The only thing that's showing here is one that just happened shortly after midnight this morning, actually right before 1 o'clock this morning. Okay, that was at Mount Hood. There's no other earthquakes around Mount Hood. None, zero. Now, up in the northern part of Washington, we have had earthquakes. Okay, let's go up to the northernmost one here. It's in Monroe, Washington. This is a 1.24, Monroe, Washington. Let's go down to this one. Let's show you this one. This is southwest of there. This is at Shelton, Washington, a 1.36. Now let's go over towards where? Mount Rainier, 1.60 in Graham, Washington. Graham, Washington, just northwest of Mount Rainier. One closer, Eatonville, Washington, just northeast of Mount Rainier. This one is a 0.03, a very minor earthquake. And then one that was just south of Mount Rainier, southwest of Mount Rainier. This was a 1.22, southwest of Mount Rainier. Okay. Those are the earthquakes up there. Okay. Now you don't see anything around Mount St. Helens here. Nothing's there. You don't see anything around Mount Baker, but south of there, the one at Mount Hood that I just showed you, it is there. It is there. We do have earthquakes in Oregon. And then there's another one. This also happened at 3:58 this morning, Rose Lodge, Oregon, near the coast. We had a 2.51 this morning, near the coast. Okay. And of course, we had some earthquakes up in Idaho, 20 plus earthquakes up near Challis, Idaho, on the western side of the Yellowstone magma chamber. 20 plus earthquakes there. Okay, all over there, large swarm of earthquakes around Challis, Idaho. Again, the Yellowstone magma chamber is 11 Grand Canyons in size. 11 Grand Canyons in size. It's not odd to see all those earthquakes over around Challis, Idaho. They have one or two most of the time, but not like this. But then again, what happened? 6.7 earthquake hit. That's why they have aftershocks right now. In Butte, Montana, this is also north of Yellowstone in the Yellowstone magma chamber. We had a 1.78 today. Southeast of there, we had another bunch of earthquakes, 6 of them. Virginia City, Montana, 0.67 today. Going east, West Yellowstone, 7 miles north of West Yellowstone, a 0.47 and a 0.04. Right there in West Yellowstone. East of there, 17 miles east northeast, they had another 0.03. Okay, south of there, 0.59, also near West Yellowstone. Okay, then we had one down south, Old Faithful Geyser, 16 miles east northeast of Old Faithful Geyser. We had a 0.68. So Yellowstone got shaken up a little bit too. Now again, these are not the only earthquakes in West Yellowstone. If you want to find out about all of the earthquakes in West Yellowstone, go over to Mary Greeley's page. She'll detail all of those earthquakes in West Yellowstone for you. Mary Greeley is the Yellowstone expert. There almost are none better. I don't know anybody better than Mary Greeley, honestly. And of course, you can't possibly get accurate information from anybody but Mary Greeley. Okay, that's the truth. That's the gospel truth. Okay. All right, into Northern California. We're not quite there yet. Longview, Oregon, 29 miles east, southeast of Longview, Oregon. We had a 1.61. Doggone it. 1.61 in Central Oregon, South Central Oregon. And just east of there, McDermott, Nevada. Now this is not uncommon, but McDermott, Nevada had a 3.6 magnitude earthquake today. A 3.6 magnitude earthquake. Now this is over in northern Nevada, near the border with Oregon. Okay. This is a 3.6 magnitude earthquake. Now I'm taking you to a close-up view of where this earthquake hit. Like I said, it is out in the frickin' Tules, literally. The land of scrub brush in the middle of the desert. The land of scrub brush out in the middle of the desert. Now there are rock outcroppings in some areas, but like I said, it is in the middle of cotton picking Nowhereville. Small rock outcroppings all over that area. Nothing remarkable. Nothing remarkable. They're not craters where they've exploded nuclear bombs in the past. And no, nothing nuclear is being tested in the Nevada desert now, and hasn't for years. Hasn't for years. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is a fissure near this earthquake. Okay, it's a fissure south of this earthquake. Look at that. There's a fissure there, south and west of this earthquake. That's the bottom of the gully. Okay, but there's a fissure that runs through this entire area. It's not a river. If it's a river, it's a dried river bed, but there's a fissure out there. Now that fissure is probably thousands of years old that came from a earthquake out in that area. Okay, now I pulled the picture out, and you can still see that fault line, that fissure that's opened up just south of that earthquake. And you can see one up north of there as well. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. A lot of times we are not given the opportunity to see anything like that. But a 3.86 out in the middle of the desert like that, away from everything, that's something we ought to take a look at. We ought to take a look at. Okay. Now, there are other earthquakes out here. This one, excuse me, that's Utah. I don't know why all of a sudden it came back to Utah. We've already looked at Utah. We don't need no more stinking earthquakes in Utah. Okay. You know where this is? This is the geysers. We've talked about that before. A geothermal power plant generating electricity from pumping out steam from the Clear Lake volcano to power turbines to generate power for electrical companies in Northern California. Sonoma County. Remember the fires from last fall? Sonoma County. Okay, let's go out to the desert again. What do you think this is? Bodie, California. Not far from Mono Lake. What happened here, folks? Remember that earthquake the other day? 20 plus aftershocks again today. Excuse me, 20 plus earthquakes just today. And they continue to hit. South of Mono Lake, we have two earthquakes at Mammoth Mountain, 1.38 and a 1.09 at Mammoth. Okay. Over on the San Andreas Fault, over at the Pinnacles, we have a 2.31 and a 1.94 at the Pinnacles. Again, this is a volcanic area, and there's also fracking going on, oil and gas. Okay. That's southeast of Monterey Bay. Going further down, Parkfield, California, earthquake capital of California. We have a 0.7 today. 0.7. Now we have more earthquakes to talk about. More earthquakes to talk about. Where are they? Can you say Kozo Junction, Anza Gap, all of them, all of the above? You're right. You're right. Kozo Junction, folks, 1.89, 1.46 in Olancha. Olancha, California, 65 miles north of where? Ridgecrest, California. But Olancha had an earthquake of 1.46 today. Okay, notice these other earthquakes here. It's moving, folks. The Mojave Desert is moving. I just hit that 20. Look what just happened. We got more earthquakes down here, but we have a 10 there, a 10 plus. And we have a 9 plus. Okay, that's a 10 plus. What happens to the 9 plus above us? Oh, gee whiz, they opened up too. Again, aftershocks, more and more and more. 0.84, 2.03 in Little Lake. Yeah, 2.03 in Little Lake, folks. Right there. Little Lake, California. Okay. Little Lake has been going on and on and on since before last year at this time. And it's going on now. And they're increasing. They're increasing. Okay. Cyril's Valley Ridgecrest area. 1.12 Ridgecrest. 1.18 Ridgecrest. Right next to each other, 1.2 and 1.8. Cyril's Valley 0.59, 0.81. Up here is Cyril's Valley as well. Now, what do we have down here? More. 1.28, 0.8, 0.92, 0.64. That's quite a ways, folks. That's quite a ways. And it continues. Okay, let's go down towards Riverside County. Home Gardens over by Glen Avon. Remember Glen Avon from last year? They're still going. Beaumont, California, 0.98. Look down here, 50 plus. I wonder where that is. I wonder where that is. 50 plus earthquakes. Garnett, California, 0.59. 50 plus earthquakes. What could have happened here? Can you say Anza Gap, folks? The Anza Borrego Desert State Park. The Anza Borrego Desert State Park. 50 plus earthquakes today. That's in addition to what they had here yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. The Anza Gap is still huge. East San Diego County, folks, the Anza Gap is still rolling. Palomar Observatory at 1.47. Palomar Observatory, where the telescope is, at 1.47. South of there, Lake Henshaw, 2 earthquakes today, 0.77 and 0.90 today at Lake Henshaw, my fishing spot east of Escondido. East of Escondido, California. My fishing spot got hit. Julian got hit, 0.83. Apple capital of San Diego. Julian, California was hit. Now we go east. Again, Borrego Springs and Borrego State Park, a 1.26. The top of the mountain, top of the Chocolate Mountains from San Diego as we go east. Okay. And what do we have out here? Can anybody tell me what this is? I bet you know. Of course, it's the Salton Sea, doggone it. Northeast of the Salton Sea, what would we have at the Salton Sea? I wonder. We've got an earthquake at North Shores. North Shore, a 1.30. The northeast corner of the Salton Sea, a 1.30 earthquake. And again, nothing here in Imperial Valley on the south side of the Salton Butte volcano. Salton Butte volcano is right there. Nothing down here in the Imperial Valley at all. Okay. Now we do have some earthquakes to talk about other than just here in California. But again, we want to keep an eye on what that earthquake that happened and the aftershocks that happened over near Bodie, California, east of Mono Lake. And we want to keep an eye on what is going on at the Anza-Borrego Desert. I believe we're still going to have a 6.0 to an 8.2 magnitude earthquake, and many of you agree. Cherokee Moon, Mono Lake does look like prehistoric land. And yes, it's great fishing. I've been fishing there too. It's great fishing out there. And Lee Vining, yes, not far from there. It's a great place. Linda Moses, your mailbox is being replaced by your home minister. That's awesome. That is so cool. They're doing a great job. Okay, can someone tell Ron about the two 6.0s in a row? Yes, Ron knows about it. It came through on my phone. I get notified. Let's go down there. Okay. We had a 6.0 near Raoul Island, the Kermadec Islands. Okay, 6.0 right there. 6.0. We've also got another earthquake over in central, actually, yes, up in central Indonesia. We had a 5.0 near Liping, north central Indonesia, 5.0 there. And we had numerous earthquakes all over central Indonesia. And again, USGS is not telling us about any of them. Hurricane Heather. I love calling you Hurricane Heather. Yes, you can look at Mount Shasta and you have no doubt about something's going to happen. A lot of people are telling me that. Okay, a lot of people are telling me that. Terry W., she has been telling me that too. She doesn't live anywhere near there. Pressure is building quickly on the entire west coast of the United States. It is. And everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about it. It's going to pop. I'm telling you, it's going to pop. And when it does, all hell is going to break loose. Now, I want to tell my friend over at Bell City, watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen, folks. I'm sure that you have seen what Anza-Borrego Desert did. And Bell City is a bit further north from Anza-Borrego. But as that pressure lets loose, I'm sorry, as that pressure lets loose, Bell City, Los Angeles, Riverside will be forever changed. San Francisco, you better get ready too. Your lives are going to change as well. Now I'm going to go over and show you what San Francisco has been doing. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you this. You need to see this. This is Twitchell Island over by San Francisco. What do you think is happening here? What is happening at Twitchell Island? This is magma flowing beneath the surface of the earth right over by San Francisco. This is typical for Twitchell Island. Okay, that's what's going on over at San Francisco. Okay, and if you want me to, I will take you back and I'll show you more over towards San Francisco or LA. Let's go over to LA. Well, let me take you over to Big Pine, California. That's just north of Little Lake. Okay, just north of Little Lake. Magma infill going on, folks. That's out in the eastern deserts of California. Okay, Mojave Desert, the northern Mojave Desert. There's magma inflow going on, folks. What do you think about that? Could magma infill cause earthquakes? Of course it can. Of course it can. And that's not the only place, folks. Let me show you over by Mendocino Ridge. Remember, we didn't see anything over by Petrolia, California, did we? Let me show you over by Petrolia, California. Bingo. This is just east of Petrolia, California. Petrolia, California is over there by the Gorda Escarpment that runs off of the northern shores of Northern California. And it goes west out into the Pacific Ocean. It hooks up with the Gorda Ridge, which hooks up with the Blanco Fracture Zone. It hooks up with the what? The Juan de Fuca. But for now, this is over on land, east of Petrolia. You can see the magma influx going on. Mendocino Hills. Mendocino Hills. I am looking here. Let me show you this. This is Humboldt County. Humboldt County, folks. Should we be concerned? I think so. Okay. Humboldt County. Berkeley. Berkeley. Let me show you this. This is Berkeley. See the magma going on here? You also have some small earthquakes that are not reported either. We got those. Let's go try to find some more here. How about the Redwood Valley? Let's check out the Redwood Valley. There's magma infill going on here. Redwood Valley, just north just north of all this in Northern California. Okay. We showed you what's going on in Southern California. Riverside County, the Anza Gap, Anza-Borrego State Park, over by the Salton Sea. There's plenty of stuff going on. Okay. Folks, you need to know what's going on. I promise you, you need to know what's going on. Because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. And I don't want that. I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy. No way. Okay. Now I've been trying to bring up the Redwood Valley. You saw what happened yesterday. we're not able to show you what is current over in Redwood Valley, except by going this way. It's the middle seismogram here in the top of the page. You can see extreme magma infill going on. Extreme magma infill going on this afternoon and late afternoon here. It's not showing current. You can see it. You can see it. Folks, you need to know what's going on. Hurricane Heather says, she's been saying for months that Shasta's going to get weird. I promise you it will. You guys feel tremors that nobody is reporting. Please let me know. Send me little text messages. Send me emails. Let me know what you're feeling so I can report it, because nobody else is. Nobody else is telling anybody about it. Okay, Richard says, I wonder if Ron is watching. I'm going to go back here and look here. What are you guys talking about? Yes, Richard, I don't support any Hollywood-based movies or shows. I don't. Sharon, I will go over and do another show on my channel. Yes, I will. As soon as this one's finished tonight, I will go over there as well. I'm looking, you talked about Out of the Shadows. No, I have not seen that yet. I have not seen Out of the Shadows yet. I've seen quite a few movies, shows, videos. Okay, but I haven't seen Out of the Shadows. I'll take a look at it. I promise you. Today or tomorrow, I'll take a look at it. About Mount St. Helens, Hurricane Heather says. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Mount St. Helens will scare the crap out of you. And for rightfully so. Look at what's been going on. And it's venting. We have St. Helens, we have Rainier, and we have Mount Baker. All venting. Steam eruptions. Steam eruptions. Okay. And again, sooner or later, those cracks in that dome, in that lava dome there, that volcanic plug, that steam is going to widen those cracks, those little fissures in the dome, and at some point, it's all over. That dome is going to come off that mountain. It's either going to melt into the magma beneath it, or it's going to come out. That's what happens. That's what happens. You can only put a cork in a wine bottle and keep it there for so long. Either the wine's going to go weird or get even stronger with the alcohol, the fermentation process. In this case, the magma pressure building up underneath that plug, and it's going to go boom. It's going to go boom. Okay. And Mount Rainier and Mount Hood aren't the only, and Mount St. Helens aren't the only ones. They're not the only ones. In fact, while I've got you here, let's do something, okay? Let's look at the Crater Lake. Let's go look at Crater Lake. We had a lot of fun looking at Crater Lake before, okay? Let's put it in here. CLCV, Crater Lake. Sometimes it had, just like Mount Hood had today, image not found. Guess what? We found it. This is what's going on at Crater Lake right now, currently. Let's show you what happened earlier today. I'll bet it's going like crazy. I bet there's tons of magma going on in there, in those magma chambers. Bingo. Look at that. That's Crater Lake. What do you think of that? Crater Lake. Magma infill going on. And it's not the only one. Now we've shown you 5. Let's look at Jordan Valley. Let's take a quick look at Jordan Valley. Jordan Valley, Oregon. I looked at this one this morning. I think you'll appreciate this. Look what's going on in Jordan Valley. That's presently. That's a lot of magma infill. That's right now. 6:45 in California. Bingo. At the top of it, this was this time last night. It's going, folks. It's going. That's number 6. And I could go on. There are many, many, many more. There are many more. Oh, I didn't even show that. I'm sorry. That's Jordan Valley. Okay. Up here at the top of it, this is Jordan Valley this time yesterday. This is in the middle of the night this morning, and this is this afternoon. And it's still going. This is right now, 6:45 p.m. in California, in Oregon, in Washington. Jordan Valley, Oregon. And it's not the only place. Let's go back and show you what happened before that. I'm hoping it will go back on its own. Nope, it's not. Okay, let's go back. I'm sorry I did this to you. I didn't show you Crater Lake. At least I don't think I did. CLCV. Let's go over here. I'm sorry I wasn't able to share this with you. Okay, that's Crater Lake right now. Earlier today, Crater Lake, Oregon. Look at that. Heavy duty magma infill. Crater Lake, Oregon. I think we've shown you 5 or 6 volcanoes now. Okay. Do you get it? Do you get it? Unfortunately, we don't have a seismo. Unfortunately, we don't have a seismo over at Shasta or Mount Lassen. Shasta or Mount Lassen. I can do something here. Let me do that. Let me bring up Mammoth. Let me show you what's going on Mammoth. You're going to get blown away by this one. Usually we don't have this much magma going on. Look at this. This is at Mammoth Mountain, East California, Central East California. There's an earthquake there, right there. There's an earthquake. And there's an earthquake right there. And there's another minor earthquake right there. 9 o'clock this morning. 3 earthquakes. Look at this. This is since 8 o'clock last night. Okay. And this is what's going on presently right now. This is 7 o'clock Pacific time, which we're coming up on in just a minute. You see what's going on at 6, right now at 6:50 p.m. You see light magma infill going on now. But look at this. We had an earthquake just about noon. Let's see, what was this, 5-minute intervals? Yes, about 5-minute intervals here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 minutes after noon. Had an earthquake there, earthquake here last night. But you see the magma coming in. There's a blob there, blob here, more blobs, just light magma. But this is Mammoth Mountain, a volcano, a resort town. Okay. We've shown you what's going on in Southern California. You guys in Bell City, Los Angeles, San Bernardino County, you guys got to get ready, folks. And I'm dead serious. You folks need to be ready. Okay, it's coming. San Bernardino, Riverside County, San Diego, North County. Well, it doesn't matter, San Diego, North or South County. I hope you're ready. Mark Larson and friends down there, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Just get ready. It's coming. I promise you that. We've got one more day left on our watch, a 10-day watch. We got one more day on our 10-day watch. I don't want it to happen. I forecast it to happen. I still believe it's going to happen. Now watch it one day after our watch is over and it blows. Okay. It's coming, folks. The aftershocks are still powerful aftershocks. Nothing's gone away. It's happening in Anza-Borrego State Park. It's happening over in the Riverside area. It's happening around the Mojave Desert. It's happening over at Mammoth. It's happening up around Bodie, California, Mono Lake area. It's happening over by Fresno. It's happening all over the place, folks. Oregon. It's happening in Washington. Watch it, folks. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. We keep having earthquakes over north of New Zealand. Okay. We had another earthquake of 4.8 over in Vanuatu today. 4.8 in Vanuatu. We've had earthquakes over here in Indonesia, 5.0 in Indonesia, folks. Okay. Over in South America, we've had earthquakes. Okay. South America, Peru today, folks. We had a 5.2 in Peru. 5.2 in Peru. It's happening everywhere, folks. Spain had minor earthquakes in Spain. Sicily, folks. Palermo, 2.2. Sicilia, we've had a 2.0. Okay. What has happened in Greece? A huge swarm of minor earthquakes all over Greece today. Huge swarms all over Greece. They're everywhere. Everywhere. Zakynthos, 3.40, 3.0, 1.6. Zakynthos got hit by minor or small earthquakes up in the Aegean Sea. Up in the Aegean Sea, Patras got hit. Again, minor earthquakes. Patras, folks. Patras. Over near Crete, southwest off the Cretan coast, 2.6. And then four quakes, 2.5, 2.0, 1.8, 3.4. This is off the central coast of Greece, or Crete, central coast of Crete. Then over off the northeastern coast of Crete, we have a 1.8, 1.6, and a 1.8. So over in the west, we got threes, and over in the east, we have ones off the coast of Crete. Western and eastern Turkey are rocking. Western and eastern Turkey. Iran, right in central Iran, all over the place. It's moving right through China too. Look at this. Look at that, right through China. India. Over near Taiwan. Sabatung, 3.1. Catalina, 3.4. Taiwan. Central Japan. Central Japan, a 2.9. Western Central Japan, Otari, a 3.8. Over off the shore of Honshu, we have a 2.9 and a 3.9. Okay. Off the northern coast of Honshu, between Honshu and Hokkaido, we have a 3.3. Over in the Kuril Islands, we don't show anything today, but yesterday we had a 5.0 in the Kuril Islands, right here, just south of Kamchatka. And believe me, Kamchatka, Russia has its problems right now. We have two volcanoes, Klyoshevskoy and Shevlush. They're having 7,000 to 10,000 foot eruptions. We have Krakatoa still having eruptions down in Java. Actually, Sumatra. Krakatoa's up there. Dukono, Semeru are moving. Kerinci is moving. Asosan in Japan. Kuchina Arabajima is going. Sakurajima is going in Japan. Folks, you need to be aware of what's going on around you. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't. But I'm telling you, stuff is happening. Folks, we're going to get out of here, get off this channel, and let the Freedom Revolution Network pick it up with another program. We're going to go over to YouTube and continue this discussion there. God bless you. Do know that we love you. And yes, Cherokee Moon, guess what? Italy is going to have its share. We already over in Sicily, we have Stromboli and Etna going on. And I think we're going to have another one in central Italy as well. God bless you guys. Do know that we love you. We'll be back with you shortly. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Monday, April 13th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Hope you have a great evening, folks. We'll see you soon. Make sure you folks hit the thumbs up button too. Make it go crazy before you leave. See you soon, everyone. Thank you.